Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Atomic Ambition, the podcast. This is where we take a look at self-help, self-improvement books, and I tell you what is the one key thing that I have taken away from reading, or in some cases rereading, the books. This week, it's the MOM test. The MOM test, very American. I say the MUM test, obviously, because I'm British, rather than MOM test. But the MUM test is a book all about asking questions and how to ask questions. So let's have a think about the MUM test. Now, when I was reading this book, actually for the first time, this isn't a reread. This is actually a book I've read for the first time. One thing that really came to my mind about asking questions was a scene from the TV show The West Wing. Now, in this TV show, some of you may have watched The West Wing. It was from the early 2000s. Yeah, I loved it at the time. I still think it's a great show. Okay, so one of the characters, CJ Craig, in this TV show, she's speaking to a lawyer, and the lawyer just says, "Do you know what the time is?" And she looks at her watch and says, "Yes, well, it's 8:56. And then the lawyer says to CJ Craig, "You have to stop doing that." And she's a bit confused. What do you mean by that? And the lawyer says, "Giving more information than has been asked. Do you know what the time is?" Yes, is the answer to that question. Okay, that's what came to my mind when I was reading this book, and it's kind of stuck with me. It stuck with me because one of the things I spent a lot of my professional life doing is actually teaching people how to ask questions, how to ask good questions. But even I sort of learned something from this book, the MOM test. I suppose the main thing that I want to express in terms of what I've learned about it from this book is that, and I was aware of this, but I'm even more aware of it now, is that most people ask questions to get answers for self-validation. The classic, do you think this is a good idea? Yeah. The reason for asking that question is because you want to hear people say yes, because that validates you and your idea. That makes you feel good. People say, yes, this is a good idea. You feel good. Brilliant. You feel good. Everyone's told you it's a great idea. But that's really just asking questions for self-validation to make you feel good about yourself. That's never a good thing to do. It's never good just to ask questions to make yourself feel good, because let's be honest, most people are going to lie to you. Okay, this is something that I have always emphasized to people I've worked with. If you ask questions, most people are going to lie to you. There's many reasons for that, but most people will just say yes to a question like that because it's the easiest answer to give you. It really is the easiest answer. Do you think this is a good idea? Yeah. Oh, brilliant. And you go away and you leave them alone, yeah, so they can get on with their life. They can get on with doing the work that they're doing, yeah. If they actually say no to you, then there's going to be follow-ups. You think, well, why is it a bad idea? What do you mean it's a bad idea? What can I do to improve it? And to be honest, they probably just don't want to get involved in that conversation with you. So they say, yeah, it's a good idea, and hope that you're going to leave them alone. And in most cases, you do. People will lie to you when you ask them questions. In the MOM test, in the book, that is emphasized as well. People will lie to you, particularly your mum. Your mum doesn't want to hurt your feelings. And your mum is like your friends and your work colleagues. They don't want to hurt your feelings. So they're going to lie to you. They're going to lie to you so they don't hurt your feelings. And secondly, so you will actually leave them alone and let them do what they want to do. Okay? Big thing for everyone to consider when you're asking questions is that, yeah? People will lie to you because It's the easiest option for them. Okay, remember that. Okay, now my advice. I'm trying to think. What advice can I give you when it comes to asking questions? There's one piece of advice I always give to everybody and anybody who I've worked with when it comes to asking questions. This is separate from the book. This is my personal advice. My personal advice is set the expectation. What does that mean? Basically, that means explain why you're asking the question. Explain how you would like them to answer the question. And explain what you're going to do with the information that they give you in the answer. And you need to do that before you actually ask any kind of question. Okay, so you want to explain why you're asking this question. Why is this question important for me? Why is it important for you as well? Yeah, why is it important for everybody? Yeah, how do I want you to answer this question? Do I want a yes or a no answer? Do I want specific details? Do I want numbers? Do I want percentages? Give people the information to help them answer the question in the way you want the question answered. If you don't tell somebody how to answer the question, they'll just try and answer the question in the easiest way. And if you just ask a question that can be very quickly answered with a yes or a no, that's going to be the easiest option for them. That's what they'll choose. Okay? But if you tell somebody specifically how to answer the question, that actually helps them prepare a proper answer for you. Okay, then let them know what you're going to do with the answer. Maybe you're going to take the answer to this question that you asked this person, this person, this person. You're going to put it into a report which you're going to be presented to your boss, or you're going to use it to make a product better. Who knows? Let them know what the information that they provide you is going to be used for, and that actually helps to get them to buy into the idea of answering your questions properly, in my view. Okay, so yeah, the mom test. If you're in any kind of job where you have to ask questions in sales, marketing, things like that, dealing with customers, it's a great book to read. In customer service, I think if you're in customer service and you want feedback from your customers, it's a great book to read. I suppose that the main sort of key takeaway, the key idea that I've grasped this idea and I'm going to run with this idea is asking about past experiences. It isn't something that I have necessarily done in the past. It isn't an area that I have necessarily suggested to people I've worked with, but it's definitely going to be in the future. I'm definitely going to focus more on asking about past experiences. For example, if, say you're in a meeting and you're dealing with a problem, perhaps a customer problem, yeah, the best question for you to ask in that meeting situation is, well, how did we deal with this situation the last time it happened? What did we do last time? Yeah. And then there's follow-ups. Why? What happened? Why did we do it that way? What was the outcome? Yeah. But what did we do in this situation the last time it happened? I think that's brilliant, because that actually gets people thinking about not the current situation, but previous situations. And previous situations is where your ideas are going to come from. And if you're the person who can make them think about, well, last time we actually did this or this or this, and well, we found that this one didn't really work, but that was the perfect solution. Then you're kind of halfway there to maybe a solution to a problem. Well, if this is what we did last time, if we did this now, what could be the possible outcomes in this situation? Yeah. That's the key thing for me. That's the one element that I'm adding to my repertoire when it comes to sort of helping people ask good questions, asking about past experiences. Yeah. For me, that is going to be, I wouldn't say a game changer, but it's definitely, I think it's a good skill. It's a good skill to practice. I don't think he goes into this particular skill in as much detail as I would like him to do in the book. So I'm going to do my own sort of research. I'm not going to write a book about it, but I'm definitely going to do some digging and looking at asking about past experiences in more detail, just to sort of see what ideas it'll spark within me about asking questions. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on the mum test. The mum test. I'm British. Mom just doesn't sound right. So the mum test. Well, I suppose if I was being really, really British, I'd say the mother test. Yeah. But the mum test. Great book if you have to ask questions in your job, like sales, marketing, maybe you're an analyst, whatever, you have to ask questions. It's a great book. It's a great book to have in your armory. There's some good ideas in what you should and shouldn't do in terms of asking questions. And the big trap to avoid is asking self-validation questions. Never ask a question that just makes you feel good when the answer is yes. Okay? Because I guarantee people will lie to you. Okay, see you next week.